Here's the reason I think Sam Hartman still starts, and it has nothing to do with the experience, because you've laid that out already, Tim. Like, we all dream of, can you imagine what Sam Hartman could do with the supporting cast that he's going to have at Notre Dame? And not at receiver, because Wake had pretty darn good receivers, but
They
it's
did.
everywhere else. It's running back, offensive line, defense, all of that. But it's more so that Tyler's been in the system now for years. This is still basically the same system that they've always run. The terminology is the same. There's some wrinkles here and there, but he knows these receivers. If Tyler's going to start, I feel like he had to come out of spring well ahead of Sam Hartman. If it's even close right now, that bodes well for Hartman, because Sam's only going to get more and more comfortable. The point being, there's more room for Sam to kind of quickly ascend within this offense than there is necessarily for Tyler from where they are right now. And that's kind of my point is if Tyler was going to be the guy, it had to be very obvious, because you are going to take into account the experience, the proven track record nature of it. And as much as I love what Tyler's done, I just don't know if he's that far ahead to where you can say, "Oh yes, I'm confident he's going to win the job." But we'll see, and that's part of the fun of it.
I don't know how how does the coaching staff, like all things being equal, where they're both competing for the job, how do you give the job to Buckner? I mean,
Well,
I
to
just don't,
me,
it's not realistic, is it? I don't.
only if Tyler, and this is my thing, Tyler has to be significantly better just on a day-to-day
I
basis. I
don't
mean,
know how
that's the only
I
way
don't
you
know
can
how
make it
that can
happen.
happen.
That's kind of where I'm coming from.
Yeah, yeah.
I do think this, though. I think this is going to be good for Sam Hartman, because I'm a believer in this, Tim, and I've said this in the past. I'm going to say it, and I want you to speak on it. I think it's very important that we are seeing what we're seeing right now, and that Tyler is being given this legitimate opportunity. It's not just
He
talking,
is. They're giving him a ton of looks with
right?
the first team. I think that I commend Marcus Freeman and Guiduli and Jared Parker for doing it. They are giving him every opportunity to excel. Now, whether they'll give him every opportunity
Right,
to actually have the job is a different story. But
right.
I think they are setting up the situation really, really well this spring.
For me, why I think this is important is, number one, it lets Tyler know we still believe in you, which helps your chances of keeping him around. Number two, it can be very difficult to bring in a transfer at a premium position and have him be the leader of your football team. If the team looks at him and says, "This guy walked in and you just handed him something. He didn't have to earn anything. I don't care what he did at Wake Forest. This is Notre Dame." That's how it can be, potentially could be perceived in the locker room for a guy that, from all everything I've ever heard, is the players do like and respect Tyler. He's a lot different than Drew personality wise, but there's respect there. Sam needed to, if Sam's going to start, he needs to be, the perception has to be that he earned that, because that's how you're going to go to battle with this guy. That's how on 3rd and 5, when you're down 4 against Ohio State or on the road against Clemson, that the players are going to look at number 10 in the huddle and say, "He's got this. Let me just go do my job, because number 10 is going to do what he needs to do," because you've seen him go out and earn it. And if something happens where Sam isn't the guy, and for me, it's going to be because of some sort of injury, then you're also going to have faith in number 12, because you watch number 12 battle every single day against this guy that came in and everybody just assumed was going to get the job. And so, to me, it uplifts the team's view of the quarterback, that I don't care who they put in, we can win with you. And I think it's even more important for Sam that he be viewed as someone who went out there and competed and didn't complain, didn't act entitled, just went in there, was a good teammate, and battled, and then won the job. I think that's going to be good for the team chemistry, because if guys are just handed, let's be honest, Tim. Well, I shouldn't say let's be honest, because you may have a different opinion on this, but I think that's one of the many things that did in the 2016 team, is talking to different people around the program. There was a perception that didn't matter what Malik did in practice, DeShone Kizer was going to be the guy. And in my opinion, I thought Malik outplayed DeShone almost every practice we went to that fall camp, and it just didn't matter. DeShone was going to be the guy. At least that was the perception amongst the team, and that led to what I felt was a very fractured locker room. you have to have the perception that there's a legitimate competition and whoever wins it won it. I just think Sam's ultimately going to win it. I don't even think it's about how can the coaching staff not do that. I just think by the time Sam gets 40 practices under his
Yeah.
belt,
Yeah.
he's going to look a lot different than he is in practice 9. That's something to keep in mind, folks. Is what was yesterday? 10, 9 or 10? I think
What's that?
practice. What was yesterday?
No,
Practice 9 or
yesterday
10?
it was number 9. They're going to squeeze in 6 here real quick.
9 of 40, right? Think about where that's content. Sam's in practice 9 of 40 getting ready for the first game. So he's going to be fine. Moral story is they're going to be good at quarterback. And you know what else is good, Tim? Go ahead. Sorry. Yes, please respond to that.
I don't, I can't vouch for exactly what Hartman's demeanor is within the team. All we can judge it on is what we see. And I think that I think he's doing a good job of blending in with his teammates. I mean, I know having talked to Buckner, I guess you can be disingenuous about this, but I think Buckner appreciates the way that Hartman has approached this. I think Jared Parker and Gino Guidugli have done a really, really nice job of striking a balance of what you say, at least creating the appearance. That's not even fair. I think they've made it an equal competition on the practice field. Certainly based upon the opportunities that we've seen Buckner run the number 1 offense. So, yeah, I think they've handled it very well. It's another reason why I'm optimistic about Jared Parker. I don't know that much about him. I know that his situation at West Virginia was a little bit beyond his control, maybe sometimes a lot beyond his control. And, I know there are people that felt like he was maybe not treated with great fairness with the title of offensive coordinator, but I mean, I'm optimistic. I'd certainly like the personality that he is. Like you think about his first press conference, I think he endeared himself to Notre Dame fans just by him being himself and saying the right things and talking the right game. And there are words and then there are actions, but I think a coach's words can lead to good actions on the practice field, and I think that's what's happened. So it's a good situation. Ultimately, the more proven player, as you say, over 40 practices will likely emerge.
Yeah.
And you want competition at the quarterback position, and it's
healthy.
I think I agree
healthy.
with you. I think it is a healthy situation.